we took them for granted. What felt like a yearly occurrence, the gap between every operation in CSGO just kept growing, and soon they vanished. No warning, no return. We had a total of 11 operations in Counter-Strike, and the last one was 1,200 days ago. That was Operation Riptide in 2021, and many say, with the new Armory Pass, are we ever gonna get a brand new operation? It's not looking good. Why did Valve leave them in the past? All the forgotten stories, collections, cases, the new skins, the fun campaigns, missions, co-ops with your friends. Now we just have this. This video will cover everything, the past, the present, and ultimately what the future of Counter-Strike 2 has. And it's not good. Now before we start, this video is sponsored by CS Money, a genuine good site I actually use myself. Their trade section has over 100,000 skins you can instantly trade from. You can get that fire combo or snipe insane deals. You snipe this diamond gem for $2,000 on CS Money. If you don't have skins to trade, you can buy directly with PayPal and crypto. And my favorite section, the market to peer-to-peer trading. So many discounts, all low flow items, instantly delivery, like this one. One bomb! Yes, 100! And to top it off, an instant sell and cash out feature. Use the link in the description and check out CS Money. Now let's go back to where it all started. What were operations? They were basically paid seasonal content that brought in new maps, missions, skins, and pretty much rewards. Pretty much like DLC for any other game. They originally focused on community maps, giving creators exposure and financial support. In 2013, they tweeted this after their first operation. Everyone who had bought the passes directly supported the people who made the content, and the mappers were split 150,000. Now these operations usually lasted anywhere from 3 to 5 months at a time, depending on how popular the operation was. They deadass just extended the operation so you could play it for longer. Now in the early days of Counter-Strike, such as in 2014, we had 3 different operations. I'm not joking. It was a operation, 15-day break, and then another operation. We were spoiled in 2014. And not only that, they weren't even cash hungry. These operation passes were only $6, and halfway through the operation, they would put them on sale, so pretty much everyone can afford them for only $2.99. Now I'm going to assume a lot of people watching this video either didn't play all of them or joined halfway through, or even just joined in CS2. So I'm going to go over each one real quick and just show you the best parts, and let me know in the comments which was your first operation, or your favorite, or if you even played one. Now the first operation was in 2013, Operation Payback. It was basically focused purely on the maps and just new content. You could upgrade your coin from bronze to gold, and to achieve gold, simply just play 50 hours on these brand new maps. Pretty simple, right? Now at this point, there are still no skins in the game, even though this is the first operation. But a couple months after Payback ends, we get the arms deal update, which introduced the first 3 cases, the weapon cases 1 to 3, and the creme la creme, the AK case hardened 661. Now the second operation is still in 2013, Operation Bravo. Now this was the first kind of big operation. It had many new maps that you know today. Cash came out, Cobblestone, Siege, Agency, and it brought us the Bravo case with the Alpha collection, and this was the first time we could get either the Bravo case or the Alpha collection as a droppable skin. Now after Operation Bravo ended, just 15 days later, 2 weeks later, Operation Phoenix comes out. Bro, we had it so good back then. Now Operation Phoenix didn't have any new maps, they just recycled the ones that it shown on the last operations, but we got the Phoenix coin, the Phoenix case, which, you know, was the Op Asimov, AK Redline. Still pretty cool. Now we're still in 2014, and as Phoenix ended, 20 days later, Breakout comes out. Now this adds small missions, and you had this little booklet just like this, and it had a friend scoreboard so you can actually be competitive with your mates. And in order to get the silver coin, you just needed to complete 5 missions. Gold was 15 missions. And these missions, guys, just read this. Complete this mission and you get dropped a Cobblestone skin. Now there were 3 collections you could get. It was Baggage Collection, Cobblestone, and Overpass. I don't think people are deeping this. It was literally just complete a random ass mission, kill 30 people, and you get a Cobblestone drop. Now if you want to unbox a Cobblestone souvenir package today, it's over $1,000. And if you compare this today in CS2, we have this new mission system, and you have to do some stupid ass activity on a bad map for 400 XP. Now this operation did give us the Breakout case, which gave us the butterfly knife, in my opinion, the best knife in the game. 40 days after Breakout, Operation Vanguard would drop. Vanguard changed it up a little bit and it brought in a campaign-style missions through this book. It was the first time you could pick a route to take. There were green lines, yellow lines, and red lines. Pretty much if you wanted to be a noob and take easy missions, or you could do the hard route and there'd be harder missions. And the harder missions would end up giving you more stars, and the stars would give you a better coin. Now this would give us the Operation Vanguard case. Nothing crazy. You got the AK Wasteland Rebel and the P2000 Fire Elemental. Now it's 2015. Operation Bloodhound comes out. Now this is when Young Flurry joined CSGO. In about 2 months, I'm about to get my 10-year veteran coin. It sounds really weird. I'm only 22, but I was young back then. And in Operation Bloodhound, guys, we were introduced to characters, voice actors, and we finally got an XP system. This means you didn't directly get the drops from completing the missions like Breakout, but now you would get XP towards leveling up, and once you leveled up, you would get a drop from one of the good collections. Now, these collections were even more nuttier. You could get the Gods and Monsters, which is the Op Medusa, the Rising Sun, that was the Acre Hydroponic, the Orgaki Harbor, the Chop Shop collection, that's the M4 Hot Rod, Cobblestone, of course, Dragon Lore, and you got Cash and Overpass. You also got the Falchion case, which had the Falchion knife and skins like Op Hyper Beast, but I mean, Falchion knife, it's alright, it's alright. Now, after Bloodhound, this was the longest we've ever waited. 140 days later, Operation Wildfire comes out. It comes out with the Wildfire case, which was the Bowie knife. This was the biggest wait the CS community had, and it also introduced Valeria Phoenix agents and new Gemini campaigns. Now, Wildfire came out with a bunch of different game modes and kind of missions, notably the Blitz missions, which the best way I can actually explain Blitz missions was pretty much like double XP weekend. You basically had to play on a certain map at a certain time. So the best way I can say it is like, picture back 2018 Fortnite Season 4 Battle Pass. Search 7 chests at risky reels. That type of warfare these Blitz missions were doing. Every single CS player was playing the same map, the same time. Now, this was one of my favorite operations in 2017, the Operation Hydra. It added the first co-op real missions and experimental game modes like Wingman, War Games, and Weapon Expert. This was the first operation to also add a diamond coin, which all the previous ones had always capped at gold. Now, alongside Operation Hydra, we got the Hydra case, which came out with the Hydra gloves and a brand new set of around, 36 new gloves. And in my opinion, I think a new set of like 36 different gloves are much more game-changing than a new set of knives. Now, jumping from 2017, in 2019, Operation Shattered Web came out. This was the first battle pass structure for the operations, and in my opinion, this is probably most likely to battle against the hype around the Fortnite battle pass, PUBG, all those battle royale game modes at the time. And we also finally got agents, which we take for granted now, but before then, every single person was rocking the default sleeves. Now, in my opinion, Operation Shattered Web had the best collection skins. This was Canals, Norse, and Saint Mark, the legendary Op Gungnir, and AK Wild Lotus. Now, the Shattered Web case introduced new sets of knives, so that was the Paracord, Survival, Skeleton, and Nomad. Pretty much what the Fever case is now, but with the original skins, so the fades. Now, the one thing the Operation Shattered Web did the best, in my opinion, is because it was a battle pass. If you were rich, if you were a big YouTuber and you wanted to spam buy this, each collection was evenly dropped, right? If you were to buy 100 passes, it would give you the same amount of Canals, Norse, and Saint Mark. Which is why I personally think not only are these skins the most expensive because they look good, but it's because the supply is low. Because if any rich person or YouTuber spam unboxing these back in the day, there is no random supply. Which is when you compare it today with the Armory Pass, you can just spam one collection. For example, we all spam the M4 Fade. There are 30,000 in existence. If you compare it to maybe a less desirable skin like the Op CMYK, there's only 10,000. Just because of people wanting it, there's a free X supply. Where in Shattered Web, each one was controlled, so they were all the same. Now, just a year later, in COVID 2020, Operation Broken Fang comes out. It has this brand new enhanced UI, which is kind of cool, and with the first ability to pay to win, you can buy stars. And not only can you buy stars, you can pick the exact collection you want to buy. Now, at the time, every single person spam bought the Op Fade, which was the Control collection. Now, you had big YouTubers at the time, Sparkles, Anomaly, spam buying stars. Every rich person was picking the thing that they want to buy. Now, in terms of gameplay, Operation Broken Fang basically was the infrastructure of Premier Now in CS2. They added Broken Fang Premier Mode, which was the first version of what we have today. Now, this operation also included the Broken Fang case, the M4 print stream, and Broken Fang gloves, Havoc, Control, and Ancient Collection. Now, talking about Ancient Collection, this Saturday I'm attempting the #1 float, M4 Welcome to the Jungle from the Ancient Collection. So if you want to be there this Saturday, Valeri CS on Twitch. And the final operation, 2021 Operation Riptide comes out. Riptide has similar UI to Broken Fang, but they've had added collections. This is the first time we get numbers and a date by a collection. This is Mirage 2021, Dust 2021, Vertigo 2021, and Train Collection 2021. Now, some of these brought amazing skins, AK Gold Arabesque, Op Desert Hydra, we had the Glock Emerald, the USB Whiteout. They also added short competitive. I have have no clue if anyone even liked this. I don't remember I even played it once. And they added private competitive, and they finally added free-for-all deathmatch, so you can shoot the same team instead of team deathmatch. Now, this ultimately would be the last operation we ever have, and it ended in 2021. It's been 1,200 days since this operation ended, and we haven't had another one. Now, looking back at all the operations, we were spoiled. And when you compare it to today, but there's a reason why the community always says operations, they want operations, and it's because there's many pros. It was regular fresh content, straight up. There was so many new maps, storylines, missions, excitement about it. People weren't just logging on to queue competitive or Mirage Dust 2, get off the game. It supported workshop and boosted community engagement to keep playing and supporting other people, and gave players clear progression systems that actually work, where you could look at the scoreboard and have something to strive for. Now, we look at scoreboard and there's a 35k elo, 100% headshot demon who's not cheating.
This is completely fine. Look. This is completely fine. See, this is completely fine. Look, this is completely fine.
And of course, I'm a skin guy. The skin lovers, bro. We had so many new skins. Now, even though there were so many greats to the operations, there were some setbacks to operations. And at the time, there was a very clear con about operations. The most obvious, operations became less frequent each operation release. And it was like an abusive relationship. The more they pushed back and didn't tell us anything, the more we wanted one. And ultimately, we've been sitting here like good boys for 1,200 days. Now, the whole point of the operation pretty much was to give back to the people who spend time making maps and also create fresh content. But the later the operations, they leaned more into money. It was just monetization, battle pass focus. You can buy as many stars as you want, which people saw as money grabs, and the community really didn't like that. But I'm going to be looking at the new operation, and this is going to be a strong opinion, so let me know if you agree or disagree, but I believe we will never have an operation again. CS2 has built the infrastructure. They've built the armory pass, this forever system in CS2 where they can just easily just rotate a new skin in. They can just keep repeating this cycle. It's similar to the Dota 2 battle pass economy. Pretty much every 6 months, I believe we're just going to get a new case or a new collection. So it came out in October, and 6 months later, in April, we get a new case and a new collection. And I believe this October, we're going to get another update. Arguably a new case. I'm not going to rule it out. We could get a new agent. Never say never. But pretty much the armory pass is just a rotation system, so they don't have to design storylines and concepts. They just have to design the easy part, the skins. They just pick the skins on the workshop, pay the guys, and it's as simple as that. Now, I don't want to burn any bridges, but I'm going to keep it $1.50 for you boys. If you see any YouTuber posting some obvious poor clickbait or some shitty ice bear, Operation Permafrost, or a vampire bat operation, it's just bad clickbait. For example, this permafrost, I've seen this everywhere. I'm not going to mention any names, but just a Google image search, you can see all these YouTube videos. Anything people are talking about, they're not leaked files, it is a concept. There's this wonderful CS2 creator called Jemsry Gregory, and he pretty much just makes concept skins, and he made this concept image for winter years ago. And all these, investing clickbait channels, they just ran with the clickbait. So all I'm going to say, guys, don't get fooled. In my humble opinion, the glory days of operations are behind us. But I don't think Counter-Strike is done evolving, and I do want to say never, but it is a pretty much strong opinion. These armory passes, you can just continuously play, stack up, and every 6 months we'll get a little surprise. The easiest way to explain this is the train collection, right? They added train to the active pool duty. So what do they have to do? They need to make a train collection, and they can just do the same process they have done for all the other collections. Mirage 2021, and they'll just do Train 2025. So in the leaked game files, cash is coming back. Valve have bought cash. So I think, and I'm going to say this, guys, this October in 2025, we will get cash 2025 in the Armory Pass. I bet you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoy CS2 content, subscribing means a lot. See ya.